Greetings, YouTube. It is later than I usually post these videos for, and yet my man Al Lovecraft and others messaged me with this heads up, and I've been debating this on my channel since the first day that we saw the store randomly. Remember, nothing Kabam does is random. It's all planned out super meticulously. But randomly, ever since the new website store went up, we were asking, do you think this will come into play during July 4th weekend? Well, there are a couple of questions that we needed answered. One of them was, will this be another week-long sale? Remember, for a long time, this was only 24 hours. And then it switched to 3 days. And now, forget 72 hours, we're talking about June 30th through July 7th. Now, the last two times that we've seen this, if you buy everything, first you got the 6-star trophy champ, known as the man, the myth, the super legend, Weapon Wolverine X, or Wolverine Weapon X. I just call him Weapon X. I just dropped the Wolverine. That was amazing, and I was super excited. He's up to Sig 151. Obviously, it's all natural, since I have not landed on him in a crystal, and he is not in a crystal besides the gifting crystals, or what they are now called. And then we had spring cleaning, and that had never been a 7-day sale for a trophy champ, but it's 2023, and that followed the 2022 Cyber Weekend playbook. And what do you know? Now we have 6-star Jessica Jones, who's not Sig 151. She's Sig 5. She's actually Sig 1 until the last 24 hours upon the time of recording this. And I was like, you know what? I got some science Sigs. Let's get her PI up a little bit. I don't know. She's an annoying defender, but if you've got champs like Hitmonkey or probably even Kingpin, although Kingpin's probably not the best example. Anyhow, there are counters for her, for sure. But if you don't have a counter for her, and she's one of those that can be sneaky good in the deck, like Battlegrounds, at least in my experience, is often won and lost in the very last pick. And sometimes you want to be that person where the other roster is full and your 3 champs pop up, and you know there's a certain class that your opponent doesn't have a counter for. Maybe they've loaded up on Mystic, which seems to be pretty popular, especially with defenders. And so you throw out Jessica Jones, and suddenly they're sweating. My favorite example of this is actually the aforementioned Weapon X, when they don't have like a Nimgod or a Warlock, and suddenly they're like, I have no idea who I'm going to throw at this person. I had somebody throw Quicksilver, and they died in like, I don't know, 20 seconds. Of course, I've also been on the receiving end of that as well. But let's do a little bit of a not-so-subtle examination of what Kabam is planning for this week. Because when you log in, or you don't even have to log in to the Kabam store, store.playcontestofchampions.com, if you're like me and you have a million tabs open, but you still want the URL. Summoner's Market, fun in the sun. Is Kabam risking it all here? Because let's say they have the same limits that they have in the game. Which now, especially with the increase from 3 to 5, say 5 Odins. Let's say you can buy 10 Odins. 10 Odins. That's $1,000. 10 Odins, $1,000 between the Fun in the Sun and the unit store. That's just for the Odins. That's not for the Black Panther's treasure or everything else. You could easily spend, even if you are in a place with no tax and you're in America, or at least in a place where the conversion rate for currency is 1-to-1, because all of this is even more expensive in India and Australia, even Canada, where Kabam is from. You know, you name it. Countries that the currency is not exactly great against the dollar. Maybe They've already coordinated this with Google Play and Apple, but why would they agree to this? Why would they openly want there to be a template where they could lose literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of their cut on purchases? Heck, that might even be the revenue they're losing, even though they lose 30%. Basically, for every $100 purchase, I think they get $30. So you think about all the tens of thousands of Odins that are bought, maybe more than that, in the community during this week, and suddenly you add up the numbers and you think, holy cow, Kabam is really on one. The Fun in the Sun store is empty. What if Kabam just puts the offers here and not in the game? You know? What if you have to go through this store? It would be a better deal for players because, of course, the unit store has more units than the game. 310 more, from 3,100 to 3,410 for $100. And, you know, obviously if I log in, I'll see the daily special. But this is madness. And maybe it's just going to be a couple $100, which, by the way, is a lot of money. I make enough on YouTube even now to pay for half this through views, sponsorships, donations, you name it. But I can't afford $1,600. And I'm a YouTuber. This is going to be a really big gambling temptation for a lot of people who maybe can't afford even half of this, nevertheless all of it. That's what worries me the most. So I'm going to encourage people to continue to grind away in units, and I'm going to have some videos on my channel this week that are dedicated to trying to remind people of the best way to get units through the arena this week, because suddenly people are starting to dust off those arena chops, desperate to get any free unit they can, they don't have to spend cash on it. And I get that, and I'm here to help. But this worries me. Al Lovecraft, among many, thanks for the heads up. What a time to be alive in this freaking Marvel Contest of Champions / Marvel Casino of Champions.